does either. So,
Oh, we're live. Yay. Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 278. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for all things firearms related. This is an AR handguard show, and we threw in a revolver for fun. Tonight on the podcast, we have everybody that is normal. Wait, I said that wrong. Nobody that's normal.
wait a minute. Wow,
down.
Normal. Hey,
we have
remember,
Rob, Zane, and Tony. And
hey, in
maybe
my house, normal is
Sean.
just a setting on the dryer, okay?
No, I don't have normal.
Yeah.
So what did you guys do in firearms?
Since I'm not muted, I'll go, and I'll be the quick one. I was bowed up this last week with 2 separate cases of food poisoning, so I didn't do a whole heck of a lot in guns or anything else.
Tell me it was different food. Tell me it was not the same food.
No. One was deer meat that went bad, and another one was I went to this Caribbean restaurant and got some jerk chicken, and I don't know what they jerked in that chicken, but it messed my insides up big time.
Probably bad deer meat.
Yeah.
No, there ain't no deer meat in that. It was just some weird seasonings in that.
Yeah. Okay.
Happens.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go. I mean, we had the first Minuteman Challenge of 2019. That was awesome. It was any semi-automatic centerfire rifle, but iron sights only.
Sights.
So of course everybody showed up with an AR-15 except Brian. Brian showed up with an AR in 300 Blackout, but he decided to shoot his Tavor. So it was really interesting. It was a lot of fun. Jesse Stratowski won, which was awesome. And I mean, it was just a great day for shooting. And I also got to get some trigger time on the Tavor and compared it to that High Tower Armory, equipped freaking high point I have. I'll go ahead and say it, dude. The High Tower Armory thing has better ergos than or at least more intuitive ergos than the Tavor, because both of them are bullpup. They just did a better job putting it together than the Israelis did, which is funny. Or excuse me, it was easier for me to use intuitively than the Israeli thing. That's it.
I got you.
Yeah.
I guess since I'm talking, I didn't do anything because I fixed a car and I did something else, but none of it was gun related. This coming Saturday, we have the ABC House benefit match that I always go to. I did get Jake from Patriot Patch to donate a bunch of patches and stuff to it, so that was pretty cool. So I'll be shooting that. So next week I'll have something to talk about. And Zane is our last person to tell us what they probably didn't do.
Well, I went to my hunting camp this week, but nothing's in season, so we didn't actually hunt. Instead of putting rifles in the vehicles, we just put beer. With a designated driver, of course, because, safety.
Hold on.
Whatnot.
You went out into the woods with a bunch of dudes to go fishing, but y'all didn't take no fishing equipment? What was the name of the mountain? What was the name of the mountain y'all went to?
It wasn't a mountain. It was not a mountain. And it was not
Wait, we're talking...
First of all,
hey, just understand something. We're talking Florida. There are no mountains in Florida.
It barely.
All right, then. I'm sorry. I take it back. Could you not quit the dude? I can't quit you. No.
I knew this how this show was gonna go based on pre-show.
Yeah.
And the sad part is Tony doesn't drink, so
no.
And I don't. Rob probably isn't after his case of, food poisoning.
And I'm not drinking tonight.
So I'm the only one drinking.
Okay.
So this show, you guys can blame me, but
all right, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we're done with that, bandwidth sponsor Patriot Patch Co. because they make awesome stuff. Go join the patch of the month because it is awesome. At one point when I first sat down, there was a sticker of the patch of the month for this month. So, see, there it is. I got it cool. Make fun legal again. So, there's that. I don't think there's any pre-order patches. Go check out Gunstreamer for video stuff that is not YouTube. Check if you're shopping Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, and it would be greatly appreciated. And Rob, it is time for you to say something, but I did add a line in your stuff, so hopefully you won't mess it up.
Crap.
I know. You actually have to read it.
Oh, geez. Thanks, Chad. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. This is not legal advice.
Nope. I just figured that way we don't have to say it when we say something like, hey, you should do this. So, of course, it's not legal advice.
I don't think any one of the four of us nitwits are lawyers.
So at this point, I can actually recommend drilling a hole in the top of your receiver or not. I still probably shouldn't do that.
Why would
no, you can direct them
God.
to the recoil article that describes what the hole in the top of your receiver does.
You should definitely not do that, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
so
Well, you might as
So
well
when I
go
give-
on Wish and buy yourself a Glock sear or whatever
Jeez.
too.
No, don't do
Because
that.
yeah,
Don't do
exactly. Don't do this stuff. This is why
okay,
this is not
how
legal
about
advice.
this? Can I go ahead and let them know if you cut ½ inch off your firing pin, it goes full auto in your AR-15?
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, no, it does that. You
Yeah.
should totally do that.
Yeah,
Oh, look,
okay,
John's
whatever.
here.
He's kind of here.
How long are you here for, Sean?
I should be okay. I think we've got the kids down for the night. So
Okay, I was gonna bump the other stuff. I can bump the Ruger down to the bottom if that works better for you.
yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I just want to talk about handguards. I actually have some visual aids and things to talk about once we get to that part.
Okay.
Because I figure that might help.
I guess that's better than full-blown AIDS.
What? You guys are so much help.
I mean,
Okay.
never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's one I'll text to Zane later.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
It's probably a
I
good
mean,
idea.
we're already. These guys aren't drinking, so it's probably just you and me, Sean.
You oh. Are we not supposed to be drinking?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, you know,
I'm
for some reason
I'm
aren't.
just not drinking because I just don't want to drink tonight. So
Right. So, and Zane is working, so he can't.
I can
we
hear him pouring.
I know I could too. We do not have a review product tonight, so we are going straight into the product spotlight and discussion, which, like we said, we have hand guards. First up is the Odinworks Rune forehand. They call it a forehand, not a handguard. Whatever. MSRP on this is $129. It is 15.2 inch handguard. It is their latest edition free float rail. It uses M-Lock. I don't even think you can get it with a key mod. It has, it's Odinworks normal quality, so you're looking at good stuff there. This is for an AR-15, not an AR-10. The inside dimensions are 1.47 by 1.63. That's where like your gas tube go. Outside is 1.65 by 1.81. They say it weighs 6.55 ounces without the hardware and 10.4 with it. Of course, it is 6061 aluminum. It comes in black as of right now. All hardware is included, including a Picatinny sight rail. And the reason they do that is because this handguard literally there's no rail on the top. It's got some cutouts, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 M-Lock slots on the side, bottom. And I believe there are some on the top. For some reason, my particular website does not want me to click on this thing. Don't ask me why, so I can't see much more info on it. I will say, I put this in here. One, it's new. It's basically their slimline, kind of slimline, no frills, basic handguard. It's got a good price. Odinworks makes good stuff. It's like I was telling before the show. I had one of their O2 light handguards. Really liked it. I have one of their Ragna handguards in for review, and I also like it. And so that's how this one is. I think Sean might be trying to dig up something to show us, but I'm not sure. So I guess I'll lay out the floor to. Oh, I should mention it does have some sort of non-indexable timing nut deal, so you don't have to like run shims or over tighten it or stuff like that.
Time it is what you're looking for.
Yes. Yes.
Time it or clock it.
Yeah.
That two-piece system is a little bit weird. It works well. It doesn't have to be torqued down as tight. Like their manufacturer spec on that is a little bit lower than other stuff. And they only really recommend you torque it to 50 pounds, if I remember correctly. Where normally you're talking 65 to 80. So you're not putting quite as much tension on your receiver, stuff like that, if you're worried about steel against aluminum, that kind of thing. But it doesn't need to be shimmed, which is really my big thing. If it has to be timed with shims, it's a complete pain in the rectum. And I'm not interested in doing that. So
I second that.
This is one of the things that actually Zane and I looked at while we were at NRA. I had them pull that out, if you remember, Zane, and we got hands-on with that system.
Mm-hmm.
And I've sold a bunch of their other handguards, but I've never installed one myself. And it was neat seeing the way they set that up. Their engineering is pretty cool over there. So, we were looking at a bunch of things, but just the fact that you don't have to time it or clock it like you do with some of these other ones, and then shim it, and then anytime you're shimming anything, it's take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on, realize you screwed it up, take it off, put it on one more time, and then you're finally happy with it. It's just
it's a pain. The one I have on my little my little monstrosity build is I had to do that with, and it no thank you. No thank you. I'll pass on ever doing that again.
Yeah. And this is their baseline handguard. Like, it's got a lot of the good features that you get with their other stuff, but it's a much simpler design. There's not as much machining that goes into it.
Stupid light, wasn't it? Like ridiculous. Like, no weight to this thing. If this is
10.4 ounces.
Okay, so it's not.
But it's 15. It's a 15-inch handguard, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that may include the barrel nut, though.
Yeah, that
that
includes. Yeah. So yeah, that's light. If you're into super light stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a couple of these that we're going to talk about tonight. There's only one I don't have firsthand experience with, but they're all similar to designs. None of them are heavyweight by any stretch.
Right.
Nope.
Right. Nothing like a full, quad rail handguard of the 90s.
The quad rail or even the free float tubes were heavy. And now that everything is pretty much a skeletonized design, it's a heck of a lot lighter, and that translates to a lot of things. One, less fatigue anytime you're carrying this gun around. Two, you can transition from target to target quicker because it takes less physical effort to swing the gun. So,
yeah. Well,
right.
I think people also in the last couple of years have stopped with the let's put everything imaginable onto the gun. Like I think that phase is gone. We're past that.
And even if they want to put stuff on, even this handguard, I mean, it's got M-lock slots on 369.
Right. No,
so you could put
stuff
anything you really want to put on it. No,
but there was a time and there was a period where people put everything, like just hanging everything.
Are you saying 4 flashlights, a laser, and a vertical grip is too much?
Yes.
No.
My point is not with the slots to hang it from, though, is the weight itself, being able to actually, like, you needed something to hang all that stuff from. Like,
Right.
You couldn't skeletonize it, because then you got 16 pounds up on the front of your gun.
Well, I think that's one of the big benefits of Keymod and M-Lock, and you know, I hate Keymod, but the modularity of those systems, you get to start with a much lower baseline as far as the weight goes.
Right.
And you can add as much or as little as you want. If you want to hang everything in the kitchen sink off of this, you can. There's certainly space for it. But if you're not going to do that, you can start at a much lower weight point. And I think that's a plus. But yeah, this is their baseline. This is probably the cheapest of the 3 we're looking at tonight too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Which actually I was looking at this, and for Odinworks, this is a really good price. I mean, yeah, it's their base handguard, nothing special, but it's still a really reasonable price for what you're getting.
I mean, if you want one, I know a guy who might do a little bit better than that on the price even.
Well, I don't know this guy, so I think I fired him a long time ago.
Yeah, well, that was your mistake.
Yeah, I know. You know how it is. Tony, you got anything to say, or are you just skipping over this one?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh.
No, God, quick, somebody get him a Skittle.
I was got a text from Tony. How can I join the show?
Yeah, so I'm back. I was busy doing a side project real quick that I had to send out. So
yeah, hilarious side project, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it lightweight is better. Lightweight, yeah, you knock it off. You said this had shims or didn't have shims, Sean?
No
shims.
No shims?
No shims.
Mr.
Sorry, I'm
Shimmers?
turning my microphone off just so I don't give you too much background noise.
No timing required. The way it should be.
All right. So now all of a sudden stuff is starting to make sense. Companies like Odinworks is putting this out. And I think it's great because it's really how people use a firearm, dude. Yeah, you have slots 3, 6, 9, and 12. You can put stuff on it if you want to, but you don't have all that extra weight of just quad rail and sharp, pointy, annoying things that if you actually are running your gun hard or trying to do drills, you're just going to rip your stuff, cut your hands. All that's gone. I think it's awesome. Then I guess this is a good price, especially for a company like Odinworks that usually charges pretty good penny for a lot of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you were listening, but they make good quality stuff, so it's not like it's not worth what you're paying. It's just, yeah, this, I was, like I said, mentioned before, I was really surprised at the price from that coming from them.
I was too, and I was impressed with it at NRAM as well. It looked good. It, you know, didn't feel cheap. It didn't feel like $100 handguard. You know,
Right.
Nice.
Okay, well, that was the Rune 4N by Odinworks, and next up we have the Stinger USA. It's VLCN, but it's Vulcan handguard with an MSRP of $169.99. And so I stuck this one in here also because it's new. It looks like it's on sale right now for $144.49. But it is also a handguard. Of course, it never fails my dog's bark because somebody decides to irritate them, meaning my son.
Bork.
Exactly.
What do you have, Boston Terriers? They're back there going, back.
Nice.
No, they're one's a Westie and one's a Dachshund, so that tells you something. They're not real dogs. They're tiny ankle biters. So back to the Vulcan handguard. Basically, I put this in here one reason. Zane has experience with one of their other handguards, so I figured, hey, it comes with all the hardware. It looks, this one even comes with a little tool for their barrel nut. it's designed a little different. It does also have a non-timed barrel nut design, so that is nice. It has a little rail at the back and the front on top. It is also M-LOK. I think you can get this one in Keymart. It has M-LOK slots basically all the way around it. So not on the top, sides, bottom, and on the 45s. So for some reason, if you want to mount something at a 45, you don't need a 45 adapter, which is kind of nice. It's got a little kind of U-shaped cut on the front, kind of for looks. This one has a quick disconnect on the right and left side towards the receiver. So there is that. I know that this one is also like the one Zane reviewed. They say on certain billet uppers, you have to kind of grind the little anti-rotation tab off of it or something. Zane said on a standard mil-spec lower upper, he didn't have any problems, so I'm assuming this is the same way. It does mention it in their website, but I kind of like this one. I like handguards that it's also a 15-inch. I like handguards that have just a tiny bit of rail at the back and tiny bit of rail at the front. That's my personal preference. Everybody's different. So I'll let you guys take it away. If you want me to read the specs, it is also AR-15. It looks like
10.5 ounces.
Well, but then the barrel nut's 3 ounces, so it looks like it's like what,
almost 14 ounces,
almost 14 ounces. So it does weigh a little bit more. ID is 1.7 at the top of the gas tube channel. So it's very comparable to all the rest of them. It is
If you wanted
available in black.
If you wanted to drop that weight a little bit, you could probably get the aluminum barrel nut.
No, this one actually comes with.
I saw it says it comes with the steel barrel nut, but if you called them, they probably.
Yes.
But that was kind of my only. It wasn't even a complaint I had. It was just my only thing I noted was that I'm like, I don't know if I want an aluminum barrel nut or not. But I still have it. The one I still have mounted on my gun. I think they make a pretty good quality product. This one is. I like the idea of the 8 different M-LOK sides. I think that's really cool. I might end up, as soon as I start making this one a little shorter, this might what goes on my 12-inch build.
Yeah, and like you said, right now they're only making it in a 15-inch. I like 15-inch handguards. As with all of these, probably they do flex because they're thin aluminum. So if you move it all the way at the end, they do flex some. But
yeah, and by flex some, they flex a lot. At least the one I have, like.
Yeah, and
I could shift the point of impact when I use the irons, that the front iron installed to the rail with using a hasty sling with sling tension. I could shift the round several inches at 25 yards.
And that's about par for most of these. I have not had a 15-inch handguard that I cannot literally just take the barrel and kind of push on and have the handguard move quite a bit.
And if you need that capability, you're going to pay for it, and in both money and in weight.
Exactly.
Yeah. But even the free float barrels, like the free float handguards, the older style, even those I felt like you could flex like that. I mean, it's the nature of it. You're connecting at one point all the way at the rear.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm done with this one. Anybody else?
No, I think this is probably the heaviest of the 3. I like the fact that it includes the wrench. I mean, that's because of the way they designed it. It's just good on them that they did it that way. But obviously the heaviest of the 3, and this is the only one I would say isn't really skeletonized, even though it's got a lot of M-LOK slots on it. It's still, I think, holding the most material.
It looks a little more traditional, also.
Yes.
Because it's really not skeletonized. The thing about the tool it comes with, that is about a 1 or 2 time use tool, which is fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not. It's made out of aluminum. It's not the greatest. I think it's made out of aluminum. I could be wrong on that, but it's not something. Once you get done with it, you throw it away. You don't put it in your toolbox.
But the other thing too is,
But it
it
serves
looks
its
like all
purpose.
their
Yeah,
handguards come with one, so
Yeah,
does it
all
matter?
the handguards come with one, so it serves its purpose.
Right. Yeah.
I think it looks pretty cool. Other than that, what everyone else says, I mean, the 45-degree thing is also something that's gives you just more options, and you don't need to buy a separate piece for it if you're going to use 45-degree sights or 45-degree optic. So,
A 45-degree light mount. That's my thing. I like to put my light off just a little to the side. So, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So,
and there was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. So I guess it doesn't matter.
well, I guess if we come back to it, if you remember, it's not.
Oh,
like we're
yeah.
going away.
Make sure you announce what this is right before you bounce out. Remember, you're supposed to be
Yes.
doing that.
Yes, I'm not done. So,
Okay, sorry.
But we can let Tony do that. That was the Stinger USA Vulcan handguard, and now we are on to the Timber Creek Ultralight Enforcer handguard with an MSRP of $259.99. So it is the most expensive one on this list, but you can also get this one in a bunch of different anodized or Cerakoted colors. I'm not going to go through the list of what they are, but
black, flat dark earth, OD green, purple, red, blue, orange,
tungsten,
urban gray.
Yep.
And the purple's pretty cool.
Yeah, the purple's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Listen, there's not a bad color in the bunch.
No, that and I've seen.
But they're
most
offering
of them,
their 9 standard colors, and they do, special runs at different times. Like the white rifle I built was all Timber Creek white. We can always call them and say, hey, I want one of these in white. You might wait a couple of weeks, but they'll do it for you.
Right, and this is a variation of their standard Enforcer handguard,
right,
which is fine. I actually like this one better. They say it's 20% lighter than their standard 15-inch handguard because, of course, it's a 15-inch. It's an aluminum body, barrel nuts included, of course. It, of course, also does not take timing or shims required. It also has a rail, mil-spec rail at the front and rear, which I like. It says it requires a low-profile gas block, which we all kind of know anyway. It does have front, and I don't know about rear, but on the front it does have a quick connect for a sling or whatever.
It'll have 5 QD sockets on it, 2 in the front and 3 at the rear.
Okay. I can't tell from the picture, and it doesn't really say, so it's good you're here.
That's why you have me as your subject matter expert.
That's
front,
right.
We mean muzzle end, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just like a car. The front of the car is from you're looking as you drive it.
I'm
as you
just
drive a rifle.
I'm just clarifying.
QD sockets are both port and starboard, Marine.
Now you're talking my language.
I'm confused now. What? It's pretty cool looking. I like it. I might be a little biased, not because of it's cool looking, but they are literally like a 40-minute drive south of me, and I still have not been there. I should go. So send me feedback and tell me if I should go there.
You're not, from what I understand, you're not missing anything. It's, it's a family-owned operation. It's
factory
fairly small. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured, but they make good stuff.
If they're willing to give you a tour of the operation, go do it. Tell Matt and Matt I said hello.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I've met Matt and Matt at SHOT Show. I don't know if you have anything else to say about this. You could probably enlighten us a little more.
So I've got a bunch, and I think maybe the QD sockets was one of the things we were going to talk about with the Stinger. But this is just a different one that I grabbed out of inventory because it's small and it's easy to show you, and it's obnoxiously orange colored.
Right.
So there's your QD sockets, 369, right? So there's one on the bottom. You don't get one on the bottom on the front or the bow end for Zane. But you do have them on either side. So there's 5 total. Their barrel nut I really like because super simple, and it's a 30 millimeter bolt face on there. So you can just use a standard wrench and torque that on that way. Again, standard spec on this, 60 to 80 pounds. You don't want to go much above that. I usually do them to about 65 and haven't had one budge. So, but I do like that system. The other thing that I think is similar to the last one, the Stinger, was the mounting system. Is that close enough? So you could see these 2 screws on there, and then there's 2 smaller grub screws on the bottom that go into the channel on the barrel nut. So that's how that's actually attaching to it. Those grub screws are what's keeping it from moving forward and backward. And then you're torquing it down to clamp it with the 2 bigger ones. They also put a plastic insert in there to relieve some of the tension on the aluminum. And they've got, again, similar to the Stinger, and I know, yeah, there you go. They've got the timing ears on the top and bottom. So there's 4 points on that one. And again, if you're using a forged upper, it's probably not a problem. But if you're using a billet upper, those are going to have to come off. That does not void the warranty. Ask me how I know.
Because you asked them.
I asked them. I had to come up with a customer on a project we built, Project Counterpart, where we were doing a heavyweight AR, kind of like the RPK matches the AK. And he did everything billet on that. So we had to cut those ears off.
I thought you were going to say you took a Dremel tool to it and said, oops.
No, I mean, I called him first and I went, I know you've got a lifetime warranty. I just want to make sure this isn't going to void it. And he was like, zip those things off and don't even worry about it. And as long as you cut them straight.
Yeah, because to be fair, they're not even necessary. Like, I'm assuming exactly the same as like with the Stinger, that it because of the screws at the bottom and the plate in the case of the Stinger, or the screws in the case of this one, it's not rotating anyways. It's not going anywhere.
No, but to me, it's just a nice feature that you pop it on there and you've got it locked in exactly where it should be.
Oh yeah, I didn't take mine off.
It removes any guesswork from it.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. Not that it's that hard to just, turn the whole thing upside down so that the rail on the handguard is flat to the rail on the receiver. But just popping it together, again, just makes it easier for you as the guy putting it together. And
so they say that the new one is 20% lighter, and they list their other one. It's 9.5 ounces or something like that.
Yeah, 9.6. So it comes in at just about 7.5 ounces.
Yeah,
they shave the full 2 ounces off with cutting out.
Which for a 15-inch handguard, that's lighter than a lot of carbon fiber ones.
Yeah, it's stupid light.
Yeah, just for people's information, that is light. So I really like how light it is, which, as a lot of people know, the lighter you go, the more money you're paying. So there's another reason it costs a little more.
Tony, is this the one we were checking out at NRAM?
Yeah.
When I ran into you the first
the one you pick up and you almost throw because it's so light.
It was a toy. I was like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was it. I picked it up at the Great American Outdoor Show in February, and it was I was like, whoa. Oh, I almost let this go. Like I expected it to be twice its weight, because usually these things are 1 ounce an inch, right? That used to be the old metric. Right. You could assume it was about 1 ounce an inch. This is 1/2 ounce. That's insane.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. It literally is a 1/2 ounce, and that's with the barrel nut. So
yeah,
stupid light. And that was the Timber Creek Ultralight Enforcer handguard. We also know where you could get one of those, and I don't know if that guy's going to stick around or not, but if he is, we'll let him plug himself later.
Yeah, he's got better things to do, I'm sure.
Probably. Well, most people do, but if you can get both those at blackbagresources.com, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Or, message him on there or whatever, and he'll do you right, or we'll have to fire him again.
I mean, I'm going to get fired again either way, but I'll take care of you guys. Definitely, shoot me an email. If you want one of these, shoot me an email. Just Sean@blackbagresources.com, and I'll do a little something extra for listeners of the show.
Hey, so Sean, this is just basically you screw the nut on there, tighten it down, then you just slap the guard over there, and you just tighten those 4 screws down, and you're done, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, obviously you got to install your gas block and your gas tube and all that stuff. But as far as the handguard goes, yeah, it's really, really straightforward.
But you don't need any super special AR-15 hardware, any that kind of crap.
No, they actually include wrenches with the handguard. And if you don't, if that has changed since the last time I looked in the package, just a regular gunsmithing screwdriver set usually has the hex drivers that you need. It's really, really easy to install. It looks good. I've never had anybody unhappy with one. I've done a ton of Timber Creek stuff. The other thing I'm going to throw out there is get their gas block, because I really like their gas block.
Can Tony install one?
No.
Oh, I thought you said it was super easy.
It is super easy, but not if you're using vice grips and a ball peen hammer.
Okay. I figured I would ask.
That's the problem. Everybody gets upset with the tools I use to get the mission to be accomplished.
Yeah, it can be a problem.
Yeah, there are sometimes when thinking like a Marine can be disadvantageous to the situation.
You know how Tony's always talking about how he breaks everything? Yeah. Sometimes that happens during the installation.
Sometimes it happens even before the installation with Tony.
I've done that.
I've done that. I've broken stuff taking it out the package.
Notice both the Marines said that.
I remember the first time I did any kind of smithing, if you will, on an AR, I was like, armor's wrench. We don't need no stinking armor's wrench. And I was incorrect. We needed a stinking armor's wrench.
See, that's cute because at least you're talking about an AR. I purchased a buck knife.
Oh, geez.
A buck knife?
I purchased a buck knife. I'd gotten a couple of them for the diversity shoot, and it was a belt loop plastic sheath. I broke it. I actually broke the sheath and couldn't give it away during the diversity shoot because it was broken coming out of the package.
And welcome to How to Break Stuff with Tony and Zane.
Oh, I'll tell you, getting us back on track, one more like, if you're into really, really just extravagant builds and like weird colors and stuff, you would like this company because they have some of the weirdest colors. And while I like all my guns black, how I like them, but I know a lot of people aren't like that, and their colors are very fancy and they look good. They don't look like crap finishes like I've seen from other places.
Many of them are anodized.
Yeah.
All right. So it's just gonna look good.
And it's shiny. It's not like that dull finish you get with Cerakote or something. They're shiny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the orange one here, so I mean, you can see it's got some sheen to it. Like, this is not tactical.
No. If you're going for tactical look.
Oh, it's tactical if you're the Joker.
I mean, it's great if you're a hunter and you got to have enough orange to meet your state requirement while you're hunting.
That's hilarious.
Huh?
That's hilarious. I can see the game warden walking and be like, "What is that?"
With my luck, they probably mistake me for a deer.
And I'm sure some other dork is like, "Oh, you shouldn't put bright colors on guns. People will think they're toys."
No, that's only orange.
Whatever.
Or is it red? One of those colors.
It's all of them. It doesn't.
Yeah,
matter.
but they do orange, red, blue. So yeah, like, you can get whatever color you want. And every once in a while, they'll experiment. Like, they do OD green all the time, but then they did another one that was an emerald green that was really, really nice looking. They've experimented with a bunch of stuff. So Yeah, there's always other colors coming.
I've seen pink from them. Not that I care, but yeah, I've seen a bunch of different colors from them. So
Yeah, I bet if you really wanted one in pink, you could call them up and say, "I want a pink one." They probably do it. I'm just speaking.
They have. I think they actually discontinued pink. Burnt bronze is the other one I forgot, which is like a metallic brown.
It looks really good. It looks really good in person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's one that does not photograph well for whatever reason, but
exactly
face to face, it looks really nice. I'm still not sold on it. But yeah, I've done pretty much every other color they have. I do a lot of the tungsten. The tungsten looks pretty cool too, because again, it's a gray, but it's got like a metallic flake to it in the Cerakote.
Is the tungsten kind of a darker gray, kind of metallic?
It's the lighter of the two. Urban gray is the really dark gray, and then tungsten is the lighter gray.
Okay.
But I mean, we could go on for an hour just on the color options they have and
just go
what
check
looks
them
good
out
versus what doesn't.
color.
But yeah.
Yeah. So even though I probably said it, that was the Timber Creek Ultralight Enforcer handguard. And now we're done with the handguard show, and it is on to the revolver show. Okay, we only have one. It's the new Ruger Super GP 100. It is kind of their custom shop, I think. MSRP is $15.49. I actually think this is kind of a cool revolver myself. It's 357 mag. It does have a hardwood Hogue stock. It has actually adjustable rear sight, fiber optic front. It holds 8 rounds. It is stainless and PVD. Let's see. It has a 5.5-inch barrel. It triple locking cylinder. It can use moon clips, which it also comes with. So if you want to do that, of course, it'll shoot 38 special. They use the Super Red Hawk trigger assembly so that you get a smoother double action cycle and better ignition. So it's got their standard transfer bar safety item on it. So cold hammer forged barrel like they always have. It is a half lug and an 11-degree target crown. I'm not usually keen on half lug barrels. I prefer full lug ones. But this is a nice looking pistol from Ruger. If it does weigh 47 ounces, so it's not a light gun, which helps with the recoil, as we probably can guess. I've shot, competitors' guns like this, and I actually like them. I'm not a big revolver guy, but if somebody wanted to send me one of these for review, I would gladly do a good review on it, unless it sucks, and then I'll do a bad review on it. But it's a Ruger, so I don't think it's bad. I'm glad they're doing the 8-shot cylinder on it. I'd probably buy one if I was in the market for something like this.
I find it funny that as one of the features of this particular gun, it says it also fires 38 special.
I was going to say that. I was like, why did they? That's okay. Yeah. All right, then.
All right. Hey,
I everybody knew that. But...
Not everybody knows it. Maybe this is the first revolver you're buying because this is the first one that caught your eye. So you can't blame them for giving you a little bit of education.
They're like, we're going to give you 14 reasons why this is better than everybody else's 357 Magnum. You could use both 38 and 357 Magnum in this.
Well, and the thing is most of the people that are shooting this in the target capacity that it's used for are probably using 38 specials.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to tell you like this. With the weight on this thing, I'll shoot 357 out of this all day.
Well, yeah,
but
it's not like
check it out.
Low load
if you look
38s, pew pew, it's like shooting a 22.
Look at the cylinder. They cut all the extra weight off this cylinder. So if you're aware of what the Ruger LCR cylinder looks like, they did the exact same thing on this. I was actually listening to one of the guys at ANRAM talk about it, and they were talking about using a titanium cylinder. But the problem with titanium cylinders, sometimes brass gets stuck in it, and this is a competition gun, so you need the brass to come right out. So they just shaved all the excess metal off that cylinder, so it looks different.
I hate that
just
look.
peeled out.
And the other advantage with shaving weight off the cylinder is it gives you a better trigger pull because
Yep.
you have to spin the cylinder with the trigger, basically. So, and Sean said he doesn't like the looks. I actually kind of like the look of this gun, but I don't know why. It's
I kind of do too. I kind of like it. I get accused of hating both Ruger and revolvers a lot, which I posted on Instagram the other day, which is kind of funny. This is in here. And I actually don't hate either. I just don't have a use for most of them.
Well, don't you own a Ruger revolver?
I do own a Ruger revolver. I have an LCR 38.
So you have this gun's ugly little brother.
I do. I would actually, like, if I hiked in bear country, which I don't, I would use this for that because I like the idea. It has 8 shots. I, would like to use a good hard cast bullet, but I have absolutely no use for this.
No, our bears in Florida, you would probably consider dogs, Chad.
We have bears, but they're tiny. They're little. They're 9 mil be fine on them. They're tiny.
All right, Florida man, might you consider this for gator then?
No, 22. You don't want to ruin the meat, or you don't want to ruin the skin.
Well, we're on the internet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway,
that's what I was told.
Okay, if you got yourself a Florida alligator tag, which I'm assuming they issue tags for,
you still can't shoot them unless you're on private property. You have to catch them other ways and use a bang stick.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, see that's news to me, but okay, that answered my question. If you were in a different state and could hunt alligators with a pistol, would you hunt them with this?
What if a gator unlawfully breaks into your home?
If a gator unlawfully
if a gator breaks into my home, he can have whatever he can take.
Well,
does Florida have standard gator laws?
Allegedly, if a gator were to break into my home, allegedly 9 mil would probably not be sufficient.
No.
Did you guys see the story where an alligator broke into somebody's house in
that happened.
Florida?
Hey, it happens. It happens.
Yeah. So I
Did it
wondered
happen in Florida?
Yes.
Oh dear God.
Was the alligator's name Elvis?
No, I think it was.
No.
That's a good. I got it,
Gator.
Tony. I got it.
Okay.
I appreciate the reference.
Okay.
That was pretty cool. I also like this the lightning cuts in the barrel of this pistol.
I do too.
I really dig it. I really dig the way this looks. 8-shot Ruger. It's $1,500 though. Is their version of Performance Center? I don't know, man. Isn't Smith & Wesson's Performance Center 357.7 or 8-shot? What TRS8? The TR8 is about the same price.
Yeah, I think they're right in the same price range.
Yeah, so hey, it's one or the other, man. I tell you all the time, we're in the golden era of firearms development, and it's just awesome.
So with the, I do too. I really dig the look of this. I just don't have a use for it, and nor would I spend that kind of money on a revolver. But of the two, of the Smith and the Rugers, in the small ones, the little snubbies, I prefer the trigger on the Rugers. Now, I've not shot Performance Centers on either, or their Ruger's version, nor have I shot their big ones. So I can't say about the trigger there, but I know for the smaller, the snubbies, I prefer the Ruger trigger better.
I would prefer this in just pure stainless steel without the paint job on it.
Now we're talking.
I think it looks good. I like it.
Yeah.
I just like a nice stain. I've got a stainless steel 44 Magnum with the 629 Smith & Wesson.
Nice.
Beautiful.
The most powerful handgun in the world. And
yeah, man. You know it, baby.
Off.
Hey, guess who else has a 680? Who has a 686 in stainless?
Ooh.
This guy. And it's about to be sent back to Florida to get gold accents to go with the mirror polish.
Oh, great. That'll look nice, though.
Wait, what caliber is a 686?
357 Magnum.
Okay.
It also shoots 38s and 38 specials. Mine's even better than the Ruger.
I'll shoot 38.
all three.
Ooh, that's sexy.
Will it shoot 38 Smith and Wessons?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Why
'Cause
not?
aren't they just shorter? Aren't they just
I'm not.
super short?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
38 Smith & Wesson is short. Then it's 38s. Then it's 38 specials. Then
Yeah.
it's 357 mag.
I think you're right. That's why I had to throw that out there.
I think now I could be totally incorrect on this, so take this with a grain of salt. But I'm pretty sure they're the same cartridge. That just was the company who Colt didn't want to put Smith and Wesson on their gun, so they called it 38 Special.
Mhm.
But
No.
that's not true. Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
All right.
Where's my Google?
Hey,
No, it
look,
might.
I just made that up.
No, I think it might have been 38, and then Smith & Wesson 38.
That could be too.
I think
That
those
could
two together.
Or maybe there's something with that there. I don't know. I read it on the internet.
Yep.
It has to be true.
Yeah. it has
Has to be true.
So that was the Ruger Super GP 100, which a few of us would like, some of us don't. We are on to listener feedback, and Rob's feeling left out, but you'll find out why.
Hey,
First
I don't
up
mind. They're ignoring me. That's fine.
First
I'm
up is
good.
from iTunes, and it says entertaining, and it is by Hillary is a Man. He gave us 5 stars. If you want to be called a tactical Timmy, told you can't shoot, called out for buying a high value weapon instead of high points or 22 caliber CZs, and hear a guy hate on literally every product review except the manufacturers that give him freebies, Tony is your guy. Chad is great. Zane seems to know a lot about self-defense shooting. Tony isn't that bad, but the constant need to tell everyone they don't train gets tiresome. Seems like it's getting worse. I hope Zane hugs him. The 2A for E seems like a solid thing, though, so I can totally slam him. He's a good person for the 2A.
All right. So I was thinking about this, and I'm like, okay, well, it sounds like, and thank you for the 5-star review.
Yes.
It sounds like it's somebody that didn't like the fact that we don't hug and kiss every product. Guess what? I'm not your favorite YouTuber that loves everything they get their hands on.
I'm still waiting to get paid for those reviews.
Exactly. These YouTubers get the stuff for free, and every gun's a good one. I can actually name names, but why bother? All right, so yeah, you're not getting that from me. As far as people that give me freebies, Timber Creek gives me freebies. We said something about their buttstock, just last week or week before last?
A couple weeks
With
ago.
the AR?
Yeah,
weeks ago.
we weren't kind to that thing.
Well, listen, I sell Timber Creek, right? Tony's gotten free stuff from Timber Creek for Rob's rifle and a couple other projects. Right. The bottom line is, if we don't like the product, we're honest about not liking the product. If we like the product, we're honest about liking the product. It coincides that products we like are the companies that Tony reaches out to and says, hey, we'd like to have some of your products at the diversity shoot. That's why he gets freebies. It's not the other way around. It's not that he's getting freebies and then saying, we like this because I got free stuff. It's we pursued them because it was something we liked.
Or something that we wanted to maybe do a review on.
Right.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff happens.
Now, as far as not training and what a tactical Timmy is, I'll go ahead and say a tactical Timmy is usually a guy that buys equipment and doesn't train at all, but has the audacity to goof on anybody that can't afford his quality equipment. And it's like
les pores.
Yeah, the pores, and they're usually the ones popping smack, but meanwhile have never trained. Or they go to the range and do it for the gram and do the one exercise, one thing they practiced over and over again. So usually tactical Timmies get offended when I call them out for what they are.
Hey, I go to the range and do it for the gram, and then people like Sean call me out for missing. I show it like it is.
Excuse me, not just missing, but shooting really slow and still missing.
Oh,
that is why you have to speed up your IG videos. Just gotta bump them up just a little bit.
Yeah, but
just a little.
I just can't do that. I guess I'm not smart enough.
Get that Benny Hill music overlaid.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
you can continue now, Tony.
Okay. I think that was it, right? CZ makes quality products. High Point makes a decent gun for the price range. Actually, Sean and I brought this up, or Sean brought it up to me. There's better ways to say some of the things I say when it comes to, what is it? What did he say? High value
Yeah.
weapons? Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
go ahead and
If
explain
we're
it again.
talking about the price point, we're limiting to that price point. The High Point is good at that price point. If you spend more money, you should be getting a much better product.
So the way I saw it explained on a meme page, which meme pages, woo, but basically it was, listen, if the quality between $150 and $300 when it comes to pistols doesn't change a whole lot, so you might as well go with the 150. In fact, if you spend a little more and get the Taurus, you're probably getting worse quality. So,
And
like,
I would go so
until
far
you can get to the police trade-in market, the used trade-in market, you're really not gaining much.
well, like around here, you can buy a Sky pistol in 9mm, holds 10 rounds. They're $200 pretty much in every store. They're a decent gun for the price.
No, I'd rather have a High Point.
See, I have a Sky and it has zero problems with tons of rounds through it.
Yuck.
Now the trigger is to be not great, but for the price, that's what you're looking at.
I've shot the Sky. It's on my list. Like, if I'm going to get a cheap gun, I'd rather get the Sky than a High Point, just because disassembly is so much easier. And I get that it's a heavy double action trigger.
Right.
At the same time, like, the one I shot was not hateful.
No, and that's the
I've
thing.
shot two, and I despise both of them, and neither one of them would run. So I got a sample size of 2, though. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I just got the 2 bad apples.
And for me, comparing the two of them, I do not like the way the Sky feels in my hand. It just is really uncomfortable, and the trigger, while it is bad too, but a High Point's trigger is bad. It's just mush. But I'd rather have that if I'm not having to carry it.
I think that was the whole thing. Was the Sky was a heavier trigger pull, but it was cleaner compared to, like, the mushy trigger pull you get out of the High Point.
And like Tony said, if you're going to carry something between a High Point and a Sky, the Sky weighs a lot less,
significantly less. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Go to the police trading market.
All right.
Anyways.
But okay, so that was let me see. Because I want to be fair to the guy, and some of the stuff he said was right because it sounded different. But he's got the order about how we get stuff wrong.
I thought he made great points about me.
But that's worth explaining to him too, right? I mean, we're not getting butthurt about it. It's worth having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I really, really believe gun owners should train, because you are not as good as you think you are. You have no idea the other things you learn in training besides firearms manipulation. And it can't hurt, because you pick up on more than just firearms use. You also learn about gear that other people are using, and just a bunch of other stuff. So when you're walking away from training, you're walking away from a bunch of learning opportunities that aren't included in the class curriculum. And I'm going to keep pounding on it.
And it's fun. Like, going to a training class is a lot of fun. Like,
it's fun.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but you should
George
definitely
Carlin.
train. You should definitely do it.
I think the big thing is, at the end, he admits you're a good person for the 2A. So he's getting what your primary mission is, and is at least giving you your due there.
You know, there's also the chance that he could just been joking at the beginning, just playing with y'all.
Hey, it makes no difference. But some people, I have heard this before, and that's why I didn't get upset either. I mean, I think if you're cool enough to give us a 5-star review, you know what I'm saying, and take that time out of your day, and you say something, other people might be thinking it. So heck yeah, I'll talk about it. I don't mind.
And
it deserves a conversation.
I mean, sometimes we get feedback and the people are like, don't put it in the show because it's irrelevant or something. And that's fine. But if they don't say anything, I mean, I'll put all the stuff in the show because it's feedback. I mean, it can be good, bad. We maybe decide to do something. We may not.
What was it, about a year and a half ago? Someone was really, really mad that I didn't like Ruger. Like really, really mad.
Oh yeah.
We've had a couple of those though. That and somebody told you it wasn't a review because you trashed the product, and he wrote like 6 lines on Facebook, and that was supposed to be a better review because he had nice things to say. And I'm like, yeah, that's not how that works either.
Yep. And since we're talking about bad reviews, we got an email from Christopher M.
Oh, this one I take issue with.
Before we get to that, I think we should clarify that I just did the Googling, and you cannot shoot 38 Smith & Wesson out of a 38 Special. It has a different bullet diameter, a different case diameter. Like, it's a completely different cartridge.
Oh, wow.
So don't do that, people. I went and checked it out. I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. So Christopher M. writes, last week's show was a disaster. The only way I continue listening to this podcast is if Tony gives a double bye, Felicia. This week, to make up for his negligence, Zane saying bye, Felicia sounds like someone is holding a gun to his head and forcing him. He does not have the soul that Tony does when saying it. Furthermore, if Zane wants a catchphrase, he should end the show with something like Low Recoil Zane signing off. And Chad, you should end the show with your famous whatever. Great show. By far my favorite firearms related podcast.
Listen here, Christopher M. Bye Felicia was my thing. I started that. I brought that to the Gunner Review podcast. And if anybody's going to do it right, it's going to be me.
Yeah, but then you quit. So
yeah, I got fired.
Well, whatever.
Well,
tomato.
I changed it. See, it's now not by Felicia, except when Sean's here. And when he's not, it's by Shanisha.
And I have offered to record B-roll that he could use to finish every single episode if he wanted it.
That's just not near as fun because then I have to cut it in.
Nobody asked you anything, Chad.
I know.
Dude, I wonder if I could add that to my soundboard. Not that I ever use my soundboard anymore, but
you could. It would be super easy. You just cut it off the podcast.
I might do that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Christopher M., for your feedback.
I must apologize to Christopher M. because last week I was unaware I had my mute button on, and I'm bi-Felicianing like a mother effer.
It was hilarious because right after we went off air, he came in with the bye, Felicia, and it was like, no, you're too late. You missed it. You're done.
Yeah. But I think in the podcast that part was in there.
Was it?
So he said he was on mute because even though I stopped the broadcast, I was still recording and I kept it in there. So yeah,
okay. That was hilarious. Though
it was. Now, Tony, I want to tell you it is time for you to give your ad read.
Oh, so sorry to hear some of you guys are probably going to bail on the show now, because I'm going to go into this. Actually, I'm going to add.
Oh, wait. Can I add something to Christopher M?
Yeah, sure.
I was going to say, we know that he listens to the whole thing, though, because he heard or didn't hear Tony say bye, Felicia.
Nice. So. Yeah, right. He listens to the whole thing. Hey, New Jersey guys that are here live right now, and guys that will hear this Thursday, we're going to have in the Assembly Judiciary Committee the new gun bans that they're going to inflict upon us. If you can get down there and testify, great. If you can't, go to anjrpc.org, anjrpc.org right now. And it has the contact information of all the members of that committee. Contact them tomorrow, call them and tell them to vote no on this. Just do it. None of these gun laws make sense. None of them will stop any crimes from being committed, except by legal gun owners if they do anything that they don't deem necessary with this. They want a training requirement on our firearms ID card now. And you have to have that training and get the firearms ID card expires after 4 years. And to get it renewed, you have to take training again. and pay another fee. So this is the stuff we're fighting in this state.
Tony, you haven't explained the part that they don't know what the training requirement will be yet, nor do they know how much it will cost.
That's stupid.
They don't know any of that.
They're going to pass it first and then tack the fees on later.
And they know it'll keep you safe for the thing they haven't made up yet. So, yes, it's very important that you guys make some phone calls tomorrow. ANJRPC.org. Go there. Information's there. Make some phone calls. We post this later on, but guess what? This will probably pass, but make the phone calls, do your work, because it has to go to the Senate after this, and just put ANJRPC.org in your bookmarks. And just stay on top of it. Sign up for their email just so you get that information. All right. Next diversity shoot is this coming Friday, the 14th of June. So hope to see you guys at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park, 6 p.m. You can buy your tickets on Eventbrite. They're $20 plus tax. So please, if you're going to come out, go ahead. We're going to have food. We're going to have fun. I'm going to have this new High Tower Armory MBS 95 chassis kit for the High Point 995. That was easy to say, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, so
Nailed it.
we're gonna have that out there. I'm probably gonna have the 357 is getting sent to Florida to Patriot Gun Polishing at that event. I haven't decided whether we're gonna shoot it, and I was gonna send it to him dirty or not, but because that would be kind of a move. But whatever. We're going to have some cool guns there. We're going to have pizza there. We're going to have fun. I'm going to have firearms instructors in the ports, and you just come out. Like, unless I contact you, you don't even need to bring your firearms this time. We're going to provide all the pew pew and the pizza. So come out, win some cool stuff, meet like-minded people. We're going to be talking your rights in Jersey. We're going to be talking that kind of thing. And any questions, even if you're an anti-gun person, come out and we can have a conversation, because it's a safe place to actually have a conversation if you're willing to talk and listen. If you have anti-gun friends, bring them. If you have people that are on the fence, bring them. We're going to introduce you to all kinds of guns that you haven't shot before, and we're going to have a great time. So please, Gun for Hire Range, Friday, $20. Buy your tickets on Eventbrite before showing up. I mean, you can pay at the door too, but I'd much rather you just go ahead and pay through Eventbrite so I know how many people are coming, so I can order the correct amount of pizza for you guys. Good news. Did I say anything last week about being invited to speak at the Gun Rights Policy Conference? No? Yes? No? Got invited to speak at the Gun Right Policy Conference in Phoenix, guys. So if you want to help me out, you can help me out by donating to the GoFundMe, and that'll help with the trip, or become a patron on patreon.com for the 2A4E podcast. That will help. You want to follow us on Instagram? It's Simon Says Train on Instagram. It's Simon Says Train on Facebook. It's the second is for everyone on Facebook, and it's diversityshoot.com on the web. If you want to send something to us, you can go to blackbagresources.com, make a purchase, and type 2A4E, and that item will be brought directly to Diversity Shoot and given away or raffled off. And as always, thank you guys for allowing me to come on the show and talk about the 2A advocacy work I do. I have no idea why Chad is taking selfies. Nobody want to see that. Nobody want to see that.
And you guys wonder why I fired Sean.
Because I don't miss anything.
Yep. So we're on to the wrap up. Send questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, and we can read it on air and talk about it. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews. Check out us on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. Thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network, and we are out.
Seriously, guys? That's really?
Sean's here, and seriously?
You want me to do it?
Yes.
Just for Christopher M., I got 2 words for you. Bye, Felicia.
Whatever.